Hi, it's Michael, clinical psychologist at Grow Up Psychology. Got a big question today. How do you cope with disappointment? How do you cope when things aren't going your way? Perhaps your plan of where your life was going, what you were aiming for, suddenly is not going ahead. You can't do it, or you didn't get the job, or there's been a change, it's no longer an offer, it's been delayed. How do you cope with that? This is something that's come up quite a bit for me and my clients over the last couple of weeks, particularly with the current circumstances with the coronavirus. But it's something that's been, I think, playing out for quite some time. So the question is, how do you deal with that? How do you manage with that? Do you avoid it? Do you try and cope perhaps not in the most helpful ways through drugs and alcohol? Do you procrastinate? Do you give up? How do you manage those things? What I want to know is, are you sabotaging your own happiness? So the question that I have for you is, if you cope in the way that perhaps is not the most helpful, that you're aware of this, and most people are when I speak to them, they know that this isn't the most helpful way they could be coping with that. If you look back on your life, we transport you, you're 80 years old, you're looking back on your life, would you be satisfied? Would you be happy with the way that you were coping with that, with the choices that you made? Or alternatively, if you decided to try again, to make the most of it, to try even though you were failing, would you be looking back at your life more satisfied, more happy with your effort, even if it didn't work? So this is the big question when we talk about happiness. That happiness is not the success of things, but the effort and the outcome, or the effort to get the outcome that you want. And are you satisfied with what you've done? So we need to work on what we can control. So there are circumstances playing out that perhaps we don't have control over. People have made decisions, or what we've tried to do hasn't worked, or the job wasn't successful. But I can still control my reactions, my actions to that. So the question then is, well, if that didn't work, what do I do now? Where do I go now that's going to help me? So maybe my goal gets pushed back a year or two. What am I going to do in the meantime to prepare myself for the best effort I can to achieve my goal? And then looking back on my life, will I be more happy with the efforts that I made to try, even if they weren't successful? Or would I be more happy with the fact that I gave up, that I coped in unhelpful or unhealthy ways? And hopefully you're going to choose the former. And then it's about making the decision. All right, what do I need to do? Do I need more education? Do I need to change my resume? Do I need to get fitter? Do I need to focus on my health? Whatever it might be. What is it that I'm going to do? What's in my control? And that's where the happiness comes from. I can make those efforts, and it's the constant bettering and efforts that goes into those things that give us meaning and purpose and happiness. I hope that was helpful for you.